for you folks. Playoff Jimmy in full effect in Game 4. Meanwhile, the Heat got swept out of the playoffs in a 55-point loss to the Cavs. Stephen A., what was worse for Pat Riley to watch?
The Heat. He knows what he had in Jimmy Butler. He knows that Jimmy Butler took the Miami Heat to the finals on 2 occasions. Wasn't happy to let him go, but nevertheless, this is on him. To lose by 55 points in a closeout game, y'all, they got to live with that all off season.
They made history.
You got to live with that all off season. And Pat Riley is the kind of person that if he was going to leave, he'll turn around. It's not his last indelible memory. So we understand how painful it was. It's not that they lost. It's that they got annihilated. That was an epic beatdown. And by the way, Atkinson and Donovan Mitchell, they were actually kind. It could have been worse. They pulled off the reins in the middle of the third quarter. Okay? And then the only thing other than all that Atkinson could do other than that last night was literally pull the players off the court and just say, that's all he could do because he emptied his bench. They weren't trying to do it.
Yeah.
But that's how bad it was.
All right. It could be bad for the Lakers at the hands of Ant Edwards. That's where I want to go right now. The Lakers came into the playoffs favored in their series against the Wolves, but after Game 4, they find themselves down 3-1 in a game away from elimination. Though many had LA as potential contenders yesterday on First Take, Windy set the record straight. This is interesting. Listen up.
The inconvenient truth here is that the Lakers didn't really believe in this team. We know that because they rescinded the Mark Williams trade, because when they pulled out of that trade, they knew they were going to go the rest of the season with a very incomplete, flawed roster. They did a great job managing their weaknesses to get the 3 seed, and that enabled them a dream of making a run. And if everything had fallen just right, a run could have been made. But when they elected to pull out of that trade, they knew they were kneecapping themselves to a certain extent.
Monica, were the expectations for the Lakers too high?
I'm not going to say too high because I think they're rooted in respect for who LeBron James has been through this league for decades, literally, and the potential of Luka Doncic. But I will say we got disillusioned. I think we fell in love with the run they had down the stretch of the regular season and forgot that, similar to what Wendy said, we all said they got size and they got depth issues. And those two things are coming to the forefront in this particular matchup. And so I'm not going to say too high, but we knew when this trade went down, this was far more about a long-term play. If they happen to be able to bottle up fire this year, then so be it. But I guess I say all I say, yeah, it was too high.
Yeah, they definitely got Luka for a long-term play. Championship or bust with the Lakers. It's like the Yankees, it's the same thing. Like you wear that uniform, especially when you have the talent of LeBron James, Luka Doncic, 2 of the smartest players with the ball in their hand. It's championship or bust.
It wasn't this season is championship or bust when you have Luka and LeBron, right? I understand what Wendy's saying, but you don't bring in Luka and have that blockbuster trade to wait for next year.
Right.
Am I missing something?
Laker fans want championships today.
When Luka Doncic was first acquired by the Los Angeles Lakers, the combination of him not playing much, clearly not being in shape, combined with the personnel that the Lakers had surrounding him, it was a foregone conclusion that the Lakers were not going to win the championship this year. Everybody accepted that. What happened was things changed once we saw a 7-week stretch where the Lakers were the #1 team with defensive efficiency in the NBA. We were like, what the hell is going on here? Nobody expected them to look that big time on the defensive side of the ball. So that's when things somewhat changed to the point where we said we're still not going to elevate them above Oklahoma City, but we'll look at them against anybody else in the West and we'll say, playing defense like that, they can take them. Then we saw Austin Reeves elevate his level of play and question whether or not they had a legitimate big 3. We forgot along the way, however, Minnesota, their size, their defensive tenacity, the fact that you can't play bully ball with them. They're too big to do that. And so when you look at LeBron James, 2 shots, 0 points in the fourth quarter playing all 12 minutes. Why? Because he took offense off, because he was playing defense. Why? Because they were attacking him. You don't see that often. You look at Julius Randle. I mean, yeah, he might shoot his threes, he might pull up. but he'll put a body on you.
Oh, yeah.
You understand? He don't mind banging at all. Rudy Gobert is naturally big. Jaden McDaniels, I mean, he's slim, but the brother's a legit 6'9" and an elite defender.
Open.
So again, when you look at the way they hoop, and then you look at Ant-Man, look at how he defends. He gets up in you. Yeah. He moves, he's got quick feet. He gets up in you. He challenges you physically as well. So, and you look at him pushing LeBron or whatever. They made it a point to look at the man that is 6'9", 250, and they say, yeah, but you 40. Yeah, but you in your 22nd year in the league. I'm 23. You understand? This other brother here is 25, 27. All right, let's see what you gonna do if we in you all 4 quarters. Yeah. What you gonna be like in the 4th quarter? Luka, you know what? You ain't in shape. So what you gonna do when we pressing you all game long? We up in you, defending you 94 feet. What you gonna do? Yeah. And that's where it has become a problem.
Yep, 100%. I don't think so much of the conversation coming into the postseason, and it is playing out so far in the Rockets-Warriors series, was youth versus experience.
Okay.
But I think Minnesota gets lost in that conversation because I think there is more quality experience there than people give the T-Wolves credit, or the Wolves rather, credit for. And they just, beyond your point of it making it just a test of LeBron James, there's just more depth too. Like literally, we talked about the whole second half staying with the same starting 5.
Right.
That's not the issue for the Wolves.
But Jay, here's the problem. The Lakers gave us no indication that they would ever dream of doing that as the season was progressing, because we saw them using more of their personnel. But now, all of a sudden, the playoffs arise. We going 5, 6 deep. We pushing it if we go to 7. Minnesota don't have that problem. And then the biggest thing is Coach Chris Finch. Let's give credit where credit is due. He could have easily deferred away from the strategy he employed last year against Luka when he had Rudy Gobert in the game out on wings defending. He said no. He's left Rudy Gobert out there, and Rudy Gobert's giving you 25 to 27 minutes a game, and he is out there trying to defend on the perimeter and actually doing a pretty good job of doing so. And then on the back end, you got a Nas Reed who's a 6'9", you got a Jaden McDaniels who's 6'8", 6'9", you got a Julius Randle who's legit 6'8", and even when Rudy's out on the wing, you still got 3 cats on the floor that can crash the boards for you, and they limiting the Lakers to 1 shot. Yeah. Yep. So that's like, yo, you just look at them, he's like, yeah, we might have missed something here. Yeah, Ant-Man is Ant-Man. Yeah. But they are getting up in the Los Angeles Lakers, and they're basically letting Austin Reeves know, yeah, you good. Yeah. But that was nice what you did in the regular season. But this is a different level now, bro. You ain't getting away with all of that. And they've got in him, too. Yep. It's a problem.
I think they came into this series with a chip on their shoulder, too, because everybody picked the Lakers going into the series. Right. They came in with a chip on their shoulder. The others are playing outstanding for Minnesota, and their stars are playing great. And Julius is playing great, too. But to your point, Nas Reed, McDaniels, the other guys are playing great, too.
Beyond the chip, though, Booze, like, they flew so under the radar down the stretch because they was fighting in that play-in and all of that. Like, but meanwhile, steady, that defense was growing. They were getting more confident. Jaden McDaniels' offense was taking another step, and we're seeing that now in this series. But I think some of what has happened in terms of Minnesota sneaking up is a byproduct of how challenging the West was overall.
Yeah.